Hello, Hajur. Welcome to another episode of Fly Spirit Away. आज का टॉपिक तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. You really cannot miss it. It's India versus Pakistan. A tale of two countries. How can you miss it? इस रिलेशनशिप में आपको प्यार मिलेगा, मोहब्बत भी है, जेलसी भी है, रिवेंज भी है, म्यूचुअल अप्रिसिएशन भी है. आपको सब कुछ मिलेगा, सारे तरह के फीलिंग्स मिलेंगे इस रिलेशनशिप में. So today what I'm going to do is that break this relationship down in three parts. So I'm going to go back in history piece first, and then we'll analyze the current scenario, and then perhaps we'll try to predict how the future looks like. And that gains some understanding of how our relationship is going to unfold. So hopefully you enjoy this episode, but like any other episode, this deserves its own title song. And this title song for this topic today is Dhun 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 Apni Dhun Mein Dhun 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 Apni Dhun. अरे मंदिर में क्या पूजे मूर्ख, मस्जिद में क्यों सजदा करे. है राम मिलन की राह निराली, मन की माला जपा करो. धुन 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 अपनी धुन में धुन 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 अपनी धुन. आइए अपनी धुन में आज की कहानी चालू करते हैं. इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान, a tale of two countries. So guys, I want to go back a bit in the history piece first. That in 1945, when we got independence from British, it was really a great time, should be a great pleasure for the whole country, because we literally were freed from the British Empire, and it's a thing to be celebrated. And we are our own country now, and we can run it however we like. I mean, that was a great freedom. I mean, hats off to all our freedom fighters. Many people who give up their life to strive for freedom, and today we exist partly because of them, for those great freedom fighters. So thank you to all of them. But unfortunately, we generally celebrate all good days. Like when we got it, we remember all the dates when we got the freedom and everything like that. But unfortunately, that was one sad day. It was really a sad day for whole of country, in which our leadership decided that we should divide the country and draw the line. I mean, it should not have happened. I will not go in the reason why did that happen, but it did happen. For whatever reason, it did happen. It's an unfortunate event, and it could have been avoided. And had it been avoided, we would have saved ourselves from so much misery and pain. It need not to exist. We were really one country. But anyway, however, we decided that one piece we call Pakistan, and other piece we still have India. And another, unfortunately, it was divided based upon faith or religion. That all the Muslim people is going to go on one end of it, one side of the country, and all the rest is going to stay on the other side of the fence. There was no such need. We fought the freedom together. We were in it together, and we are supposed to stay together. And unfortunately, it did happen, and we got separated. I'm talking about 1945. You remember that time we just got the freedom from British, and at that time, as a country, we were very poor. We were really very poor because all the resources and everything was pretty much hogged up by British. And as an individual, we were living on a bare sustainable level. Uh, it was really hard time for all of the country. We really got the freedom. We were happy about it, but as a country, we were very impoverished. We were a very poor country in 1945. And we decided that, hey, all the Muslim people is going to go to Pakistan and all the Hindu is going to come to India. Such a wrong decision it was taken around. And many people took the journey and many people did not. I'm so glad they did not took that journey, because the journey, if you look at the picture of 1945, when people moving from India to Pakistan or Hindus coming from Pakistan to India, it was such a painful, it was not an easy migration. I mean, people these days, they can say throw a lot of words because the words come as free and they can use to say whatever they wanted. But just to put you a perspective, imagine we hit the pandemic right now. And because of the COVID, we stopped all the trains and we completely stopped all the traffic, and we make sure that everyone really goes in a lockdown. Apparently, it came as a very sudden lockdown, but there was a need to do so. And you saw that right now we are very developed, right now we are very, very resourceful. But even in this scenario, so many migrants people moving from the cities, going to their villages, people taking all their baggage on their tiny cycle with one kid in mom hand, two kids walking down the street, taking a long journey from one place to another. It's not an easy journey. You have seen it all, you have seen the pictures of it. Many people died. It is too much exhaustion and too much work. Many people cannot survive that. And you've seen the picture and you felt it. You felt it in your heart how painful that moment was. But now, this was still a good scenario. Think, go back to 1945. And imagine that. So I'm glad many of our people, Muslim people, stayed in our country. And rightfully so, it's their country. We shouldn't be separated to start with. And if you look at those pictures, I mean, I was just watching some of the pictures, and some of the folks are still alive to tell you the tale about what happened that day. People, it was painful for both faith, both for Hindu and both for Muslim. And it was a wrong decision on the leadership to divide our country into two pieces. There was no need to draw the line. And the outcome could have been very different. So now that we are separated, now that the lines are drawn, and we each are sailing in our own ship, so we are gonna pace ourselves differently as a country, because we live in a different ecosystem and different environment. So over a period of last 60 years or 50 years, India has been mostly staying democratic. And Pakistan has been democratic at times, but at times been ruled by military and switched back and forth a few times. So we as a country, we feel our own insecurities. We feel our own rivalry, right? So if India get nuclear power, Pakistan get threatened, and they think, oh, we need to get the same, right? It's very much more like I must do more, although it's a nuclear power we are talking about, but I could not compare it more to its sibling rivalry than anything else. Because we came from the same country. 60 years back, we were the same country. We were the same people. And how can we go against our own people? But this is, again, I would really saying it's sibling rivalry, but it's a dangerous game no matter what. Right? If one country progresses more, definitely there's jealousy. Right? There have been many acts which has been like on the Bombay, the Hotel Taj was attacked, and a few others. There's been few history behind it, so it has happened few times, right? So how can one country progress more than the other? So there's absolutely a rivalry. People can call it in the name of religion or faith, but they find an excuse, right? Because there's no reason to sabotage one country in the name of it. Right? So, and if you look at the whole irony of the situation, is that there are more Muslims in India than if you take the total population of Pakistan. Right? So, in some ways, if we think against one another, basically, in some ways, it's just like we are causing ourselves one harm. I mean, 60 years back, we could not have imagined ever doing or thinking that way, that our own people is going to kill our own people. It is pretty much the case. Think of it. 60 years is a very small time frame. It's not even one generation. Right? And people, because of the insecurity, because of the political reason, because of the economic reason, because one country thinks of their survival, they really do makes really crazy decision, which really people of the other country may find it very offending. Right? If you tie up with China or if you tie up with any other country for against India or against, it does not make any sense. Right? But if you take the survival piece out, if you take the insecurity piece out, if you take the boundary places that we have it in Kashmir and many other places, for a second you just simply take it out. Right? And those things build a lot of negativity between each countries. But for a second, if you simply take those pieces, insecurity and all those political insecurities, all those pieces out of the equation. And if you look at two countries, you will notice that between our two countries, we have far more in common than we have differences. Apparently, one city of India doesn't look a whole lot different from the city in Pakistan itself. If you really go visit it, you find the same vibe, same crazy traffic, people drive crazily, same tea shops, people drinking, talking to each other, gossiping, same tea shop. We have same food habits. We dress very similar. Our language is very common. We talk similar language. right? Both country was the same soap opera, same thing, similar behavior. We love the same music. We have a huge appreciation for artists from one country to another. They watch so many Bollywood movies. And if you look at so much music, many other good musicians have really been well appreciated in India. We have so much in common. So, as a people from one country to another, we connect each other naturally. Of course, it's only been 60 years. We completely understand each other. Right? So leave aside a few, but if you talk to any people, like if you talk to people who reached a bit of higher consciousness, if you talk to any artist, any poets, if you talk about any musicians, right? I mean, from both the countries, none of them can ever, they will only talk of uniting the two countries together. The two countries cannot be against each other. They cannot be. It's good if it's fun for cricket and fun for games, and it's good for that purpose. But otherwise, as a people, as a soul of the two nations, we basically connect each other so much. Right? But now that the boundaries are drawn, for now we still have to live separately. But guys, I'm coming to the last piece now. And I told you I want to predict how the future is gonna end up. And I really see a really bright future for both the countries. Because 60 years is a very time frame. We have so much connection between the two countries that 60 years cannot define the boundary. As a country, each country develops their own consciousness or build higher consciousness as their educations, people really get more educated. Slowly and naturally, this boundary needs to go away. A boundary will automatically go away. There is no need for boundary. We were one to start with, and we will become one again. But until we become one, until we still have the line, we expect, or at least we can only think, we don't do enough damage between each country. Guys, until next time, peace on earth, peace everywhere. I'll see you in the next episode.